Hey guys, this is Ray, owner of Double R Diesel. Welcome back to the shop. And in today's video, I'm going to do something just a little bit different than what I normally do. It was suggested to me that I should do a question and answer video series. So that's why we're going to start today. A lot of YouTubers do question and answer series videos. I don't really consider myself a YouTuber. Just a Cummins diesel enthusiast that likes to share what he's learned and also advertise his business through YouTube. But anyway, I agree, and I thought it would be a good idea to do a question and answer series video. Be good content, and it also would be beneficial possibly to you guys out there in answering some of your questions and explaining some things. So without wasting any time, let's get started. I tried to pick questions here that I get quite often that or most relevant. And I don't have many because I didn't want to keep you long for this first video series. But moving forward, um, any questions that you might ask that you want me to answer, just post them in the comments. I'll get them approved in the comments, and you'll be able to see them. And next video series, I'll try to answer those questions in detail. So, first question: will tuning void my warranty? Well, that's a very good question, and the answer is possibly, not likely. As you know, we're only doing emissions intact compliant tuning now. So we're not doing anything that involves removal, replacement of parts on a truck. So, we're doing nothing more than programming the PCM to increase power and performance. So it's nothing more than a program. So if you have a powertrain failure, odds are you can program the truck back to stock, go into the dealer, and nothing will be asked, nothing will be said, kind of deal, and you get your repair done. If you got a major problem, if you have like a major engine failure or a transmission failure, and you're a little nervous about the situation, never hurts to ask your dealer and tell them, say, look, this truck was tuned prior. Is that going to be a problem? Before you actually bring it in and getting documentation done on the truck. So it doesn't hurt to ask. Always ask first. But most cases, I don't think that you'll have any problems with just normal powertrain repairs under warranty. Now, if you come in there with a hole in your engine block, whether it's, it would be tune related fault because we don't do that kind of tuning anyway. But, if you run the engine out of oil and throw a bearing and you catastrophically destroy your engine, if they find out there's a tune on the truck, that might be grounds to void the warranty. But there's grounds to void the warranty for other reasons there because you didn't have any oil in the truck, kind of thing. So, keep that in mind. One thing that does come to mind, I want to make mention to you in case you didn't know. A lot of people ask, does tuning leave a footprint? Well, with the MM3 tuner we do now, it doesn't per se leave a footprint, but it does leave a flash count. So there is a flash counter in that PCM, and if somebody happens to keep records of that, then you might show a number of flash counts that are not documented within the Chrysler system. So I mean, that's possible a red flag there, but is it likely? No. These newer trucks, the 22 and newer model trucks, in which you actually have to swap out the PCM in order to tune it. Well, guess what? There is no flash record count on them because all you got to do with those trucks is simply put the stop PCM back in the truck, get it back running. You've never actually programmed the stop PCM, so it'll never show a flash count. So that's a really cool thing about these newer trucks. You do have to go through the hassle of swapping the PCM, but it doesn't leave any trace whatsoever. So keep that in mind. Will my truck pass smog with your tuning? Well, with our emissions compliance tuning, we are not altering anything whatsoever that bypasses, defeats, blocks any emissions control systems on the truck. All the emissions readiness monitors will read okay. So yes, absolutely. And we're not doing anything to increase emissions output whatsoever anyway. So yes, if you got our truck tuned by us with our emissions compliant tuning, it will pass a smog test. Do you tune transmissions? Well, absolutely. We've been tuning to 68 RFE for years on top of years on top of years. Got a lot of experience in it. Matter of fact, we are an approved transmission dealer and tuner, most importantly, tuner for RevMax transmissions. And you guys know that RevMax is a big name out there for built 68 RFE and 68 RFE components. Matter of fact, we sell them on our website, parts, components, complete transmissions. And if you are tuned by us, we take care of the necessary required transmission tuning as well. That's 68 RP. ACEN transmission, I've had that asked recently. I do know there's some companies out there that have the ability to tune the 13 through 18 variety ACEN transmissions. We don't at this time. Our engineers are working on it, but I don't have any kind of ETA on that. So just keep that in mind. But the ACENs, as far as when you tune an ACEN truck, as long as you keep the power level at a moderate power level, they shift fine and they do quite well. Um, Another question, and this is a really big question that's popped up here lately for the people that's been keeping up with the political side of things. Does the reversal by the Supreme Court of the Chevron ruling change anything? Does it allow you to delete your trucks moving forward? And the answer to that question is a big fat no. It does not change a thing about the legality of deleting the emission systems on your truck. I'll try to dumb it down. Chevron, it was a ruling way back years ago from another Supreme Court era. And basically, it allowed the government leeway to interpret and I don't know how's the word, to interpret and apply uh, laws without being those interpretations and applications and enforcement being voted upon by Congress. So basically, three-letter companies, organizations within the government like the EPA could say, okay, well, since this is law, we can enforce, we can interpret, we can fine, we can charge individuals or companies who break these laws in a manner in which we see fit. Um, Now, there are some policies, interpretations that, since Chevron has been repealed, that, up for debate. I know I talked with a lawyer the other day and I asked him his opinion on that. He said, basically for guys like us who have dealt with EPA, he says, one way it could change how things are done is who gets fined or tried civilly versus criminally. It could change how that's done. It could possibly change how the requirements for certain compliances are considered. But as far as deleting your truck, removing emissions, that kind of thing, uh, it doesn't change that. The Clean Air Act is a act. It is a law. It has many sections and subsections written into it that are voted upon. That is law, and there is a subsection in there that specifically says that you cannot render, defeat, remove any emissions systems on a motor vehicle, and that is the law. It's not changed. Chevron doesn't change it. So deleting your truck is highly illegal, and for shops to offer parts and tuning for it is highly illegal. Now, I've had people ask me, as a end user, will the EPA come after me? Odds are no. They don't have the ability to enforce things at an individual level, individual cases across the board. There's not enough of them to go around. But what they can do and may do in the future is force states, local municipalities to require certain smog tests, certain inspections, and those things get required for vehicle registration, then that would enforce it at a consumer level. But right now, they're just interested in busting shops and manufacturers who offer those products. Um, Last but not least, and here's the big one. A lot of people have asked me about lately. I had done a video on a certain product, a certain intake elbow, and that video is no longer up on YouTube. And I was asked, what happened to it? Well, if you've been following the channel, you'll know what I'm talking about. At this point in time, I can't call no names. You know, the intake could have been red, it could have been blue, could have been green, but I installed it on my 2020 truck, and I merely meant that video to be a product showcase, talk about all the good about it. Honestly, I hope that it would show power increases no matter what kind of tune was on the truck, all across the board. Um, in my case, it didn't show increased power in a certain situation, and I published that information. Didn't mean it in any degrading fashion whatsoever. I meant it to build up this product. I was excited about the product. But anyway, I released the video. It kind of went viral, sort of a little bit. It got a lot of hits in just a few days. I went on a camping trip at the beach with my family. While I was out on the beach, I get a phone call from this manufacturer, and they asked me a bunch of questions about, how I conducted my test and so on and so forth. And I told them what information I could. I was on vacation, so I couldn't supply them a lot of details. When I got back from vacation, contacted them again, it was a totally different tone of voice. They weren't even entertaining me discussing details. They just simply said your test was flawed because of blah, 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 blah. And I said, well, it's possible, but I have to get my information together. I would like to, further talk about this. Let's do some more testing, and let's see, if apples are apples and oranges is oranges kind of deal. Well, they didn't want to hear that at all, and actually threatened legal action against me if I didn't remove the video. So I removed the video. I'm no dummy. I'm not putting my family through any, further troubles. I've had enough in the past years as it is. But anyway, long story short, I did that video because somebody asked me in a prior video, say, hey, test this product because there's no information out there about whether this product increases power or not. There's no dyno videos out there. Well, there's a reason there's no dyno videos out there, and I found out the hard way, okay? Now, since then, I have consulted a attorney and asked him about this situation. And he told me, he said, well, get your facts together. You can do any kind of video you want, as long as you're telling the truth and you got the data to back up what you're saying, then any product manufacturer can pound sand and they can't do anything legally about it. So what I didn't have a chance to discuss with this company is that I did record data logs. I did record a lot of information, but when I was asked about it, I was on vacation. I couldn't get all the information together. But long story short, I'll do another video. I will show you the data. I will show you the data logs. I will show you what I did. I will show you the control conditions so that, that argument can't be made anymore that I was misleading people, because I simply won't. Matter of fact, anybody who watched the video would know that I talked up that product in many, many, many ways. The only negative thing I said was a minor negative thing, and I didn't mean for it to be a negative thing, but good gosh, it was blown completely out of proportion. But anyway, I get it. That's fine. Whatever. I'm moving on. But that's the answer to that question. Anyways, guys, put your comments put your questions in the comment section. I will go through them, and I will do another follow-up question and answer series. I might do it every week, might be bi-weekly, might be once a month. Just depends on how the content comes in, and we'll answer those questions in another video. But anyways, guys, thanks for following along. God bless each and every one of you, and I'll see you again soon.